Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile 2. In this episode, I'm going to be showing you guys how we have 18 Skeletal Frost Mages, and if you didn't know, they also are doing 93k, and then they have the Explode for another 93k, and then the crit 31.9 with the 330 crit damage bonus. God damn. Okay, so how do we get 18? Which I just bugged it to 36. It's a visual bug. We actually have 18 here. Don't worry about it. So I got an Ingenuity belt. This drops from the King of the Mist ritual boss. Audience with the King. So Ingenuity, it rolls 40 to 80, and then the perfect 80 was 40D. So I ended up buying one for 41D. So I spent one extra to get the one extra bonus gained. It was the same price, or like, yeah, it was basically the same price, but I got 1 extra percent. And then 83 was like way more expensive. It's crazy how just like a few percent after that is worth so much, but that first one over wasn't too bad, because basically what happens with Valorbs in PoE2 is that, like the Trench Timber, you can Valorb and get a multiplier, and then it can actually round up. So like you get a 3 into a 4. It was like a 3.66, and then it turns into a 4. But the fact that you can corrupt unique items and get a multiplier on them, kind of like Kalandra's, you know, the mist where you reflect a ring or something, and you can get it to be a multiplier. You get that on corruption. So you ended up getting the 81 on the belt, and you could get a 98, but it's like multiple mirrors. So anyways, did just a 40D one basically, and then the bonuses. So imagine Giga Ring, so tons of mana, Chaos Res, Cold Res, Lightning Res, and then I have these mods, Mana Regenerate. This one's 81%. It's from the 68 scaled up with the Catalyst. 81 mana regen, and then here 72, and then I have Chaos Res, Lightning Res, Rarity, Mana, and Fire Res, and then even I have a corruption for an enchant of Mana. So the mana mod is really 238. This is like the biggest mana you've ever seen, which I got this corruption after I had the Catalyst, so I don't know what the actual mana number is. It's just, it is 21. It might have been a different number. I don't know if it gets scaled by the Catalyst. You know, what can I do, you know? So anyway, and I want to show, barely have any rarity, 34. Pretty much that's all my rarity. And then, yeah, so Ingenuity giving Giga Resistances, Mana Regenerate, and then the mana, ended up having too much of the resistances, and I got my mana regen up to like 760 or something. So then I ended up cutting the boot, which, the boot was just my 35 move speed, Giga mana, so I could have 6090 mana if I had the boot on. But anyways, we use this boot now. So this is Bones of Ullr, and so the dead man walks with a living fear to tread. So we have minions have 23% reduced reservation. This is specifically for undead minions though. Okay, so then, which it doesn't have a description for what undead is. Anyways, 23%. When I first got this boot and I was thinking about it, I was thinking that, oh, 23% more. No, I was wrong in my thoughts. We have the 12% reduced, and then we have the 10% reduced already. So imagine we have, why would, let's see, 20. Okay. Clown. He called me a clown. Nice. Okay, so yeah, 22 reservation. So then they're only at 78%. And when you take a 23, it's 23 reduced of the 78, because these are reduced, so they're add or subtract. So these just add together. And so yeah, it was 23 of the 78, which meant that I actually got 5 of 13. I had 13 and I gained 5, so it was like 38% more. And like, yeah, when you think about it, so 23 of 78 is like 30%. But then after it, you only have 55. So technically you could think of it the other way around, of 23 of 55, because like after you have all the reduced, yeah, they only have the main cost of 55, and then it's relative of if you took away the boot, what's the 23 worth of it, and then yeah, 42% technically. So like it shows where I'm actually really close to another one. So where I gained 5, I could actually gain 6 because each of these only cost 20 now. I went from 18 to 38. And so if I get another 2 spirit, I get another one. And then you could think about every 20 spirit is another frost mage. Is kind of crazy. So yeah, I showed the 93k, and I show how we got so many with the Ingenuity giving me more stuff, so I didn't need the boot for the resistances, and I squared it up with the glove. I got the rest of the stuff I was missing with the glove. And yeah, the boot, it actually starts at a 20, but it's that Valorb corruption thing to turn it into a 23, by the way. And then my mate pointed out, like, you could get the Ventor's 24 spirit rings, and then with the belt, with just 80%, it's like 41 spirit or something. So you could get like 2 extra per ring, so you could have an extra 4. I could be at 22 if I had 2 Ventors with the, because Ventors go to 20 spirit, but you could corrupt it to go to 24, kind of like the boot being 23. Yeah. Which, shouldn't the boot be able to go higher? Like 24? And then, yeah, the other thing with the belt is when I changed the belt from what I was using, the main downside of swapping the belt is the charms. And so just imagine me losing the charm stuff and then the +2 charm, so I can't use my stun and my slow charm, but mostly just for AFK now. And then I really almost don't even need the freeze. I could just try to use another one that keeps me alive, like shock or ignite or something that mitigates some damage. Yeah. If for AFK Simu, I may not need the freeze. If I'm on wave 15 just casting Eye of Winter now, and so it's like I'm pretty close to just AFKing and not needing a charm to move around when I could just stand still, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, the belt for the big mana regenerate going up to 688 is crazy because I was at 560, and like if you had to try to build mana regen through the tree, it's not that great. And oh, the other thing is when we gain all this damage to the Bones of Ullr, yeah, I've changed the tree quite a bit, changed some stuff. So I mentioned the charms. And this is mostly for AFK Simulacrum, like actually just chilling, because we're also really slow now. Imagine -4 move speed. You don't have the charms for quality of life of not being CC'd, so moving around can really suck if you're getting stunned all the time. And and then the actual mobility, because I showed you moving is so slow, you can still leap slam, so I put the martial tempo back on the leap slam, and then the leap slam isn't affected by move speed, so having less or increase or all that doesn't matter. It's just the attack speed that's scaling the leap slam. So we have the attack speed scaling us from the trench timber from the minion attack speed, and then we also have the martial tempo. So like this thing's pretty fast, 0.95 attack time, and you could definitely you take this off and then look at the 1.03, so 0.08 of 0.95. It's pretty impactful on the feel. And then yeah, the trench timber, cool for the scaling the minion attack speed to you, but mostly like I'm AFK and then I just jump between the different areas for the simulacrum or for the loot. Yeah, it's really good. And we have the range pickup, proximity looting, so that we can actually not have to walk to each piece of loot, so like not having move speed again on top of that is pretty nice. And then yeah, you could actually get more, like I was saying, could go even more, get extra spirit than the summoning them like 20 per. The fact that I could just get 2 and I get another one is kind of crazy to me. 2 more spirit and that's another one is worth quite a bit. And then, oh, so I want to show the links, because I showed the damage setup. I have Wild Shards, Fork, Cold Pen, Arcane Tempo, and I changed Scatter Shot for Feeding Frenzy. And then I mentioned how I I don't need as much defense on the tree for them. I'll also show the Hound first. So heavy swing, minion mastery, fire mastery, lacerate, and then heft. I got rid of martial tempo and fire infusion because I wanted to put the martial tempo on the leap slam, and you can't use same two of the same support gem. And then I was thinking of physical with the heavy swing, and I didn't want to run brutality because I want him to still have the ignite. So then I just went with heft and bleed. I was also thinking I could just scale up the ignite, but I like his just auto attack because he's doing like 90k. He can crit, he gets benefit from the Eye of Winter base crit. Like, this damage actually goes higher when they have Eye of Winter, and then the big bleed potentially. Like, I don't know. Don't have to do bleeding. Could do something else as well. Just big hits instead of having to wait for the bleed, right? There's a bunch of options there. But this seemed pretty cool because, like, it bleeds pretty quick, and then the bleed can be pretty good damage. And then, yeah, I still swap into blink every now and then. For mapping, also, I'd probably just drop a few of these and put on blink, because walking around with this speed for mapping wouldn't be very good. So if you wanted to try to use this boot, you would probably be leap slamming and blinking like I was doing before, and this would be your mobility. And so it makes my setup of how I was mapping even better. Like, you could be temporalis, but that's a huge defense loss where yeah, anyway, you don't even have the cast speed to really benefit fully from the temporalis as well. So then yeah, I was gonna change this back. And then, like I said, 18 to have another one. I mean, 2 more. And wasting 18 is kind of crazy, yeah. And anyway, same setups on this, except for Eye of Winter. I took off the eventual crit because I realized that there was a lot of monsters in Simu, and my projectiles are hitting, obviously, random trash and critting. And so I'm critting with the Eye of Winter all the time, so it's never building up the inevitable crit. And so I just put Pierce so that I could hit... Like, since the density is so crazy in Simulacrum, I needed it to pierce, potentially, so that the first mob doesn't block it. I could keep it. I've had way better results with stacking it and getting the exposure from the crit, and without even having inevitable crit, I feel like it wasn't helping at all. Unless there was, like, just 1 or 2 enemies, and you let it build up, and then you use it, then it could help. But, like, the real scenario in Simulacrum is just constant tons of enemies at the same time, and it's really like when they build up, not when I just have 1. When I have 1 or 2 left, it's already GG, basically. Where our setup's mostly for clear AoE, not just for the single target anyways, so we're clearing everything. And so, yeah, we wouldn't really have an issue if it's just 1 enemy remaining. So it helps in the actual bad scenario where you're swarmed. Boot is really sick, though. Like I was saying, I thought it would just be 23% extra, but it ended up turning into actually, like, relatively 38% of actual, this is how many more I got, 5 of 13. But then also, it was, the part where, yeah, I could actually get 6 with the 2 extra, and then it's even better. It's like 41% relative, and it's because of all the other reduced and how they stack up. And with a high level Frost Mage, it actually lowers the spirit by 1 at certain breakpoints. So the last breakpoint we hit was 37. At 37, it minuses 1 spirit reservation cost. So that would be a goal if you weren't 37 already and you wanted to summon more of them. So where we have 18, lowering the spirit by 1, that's 18 spirit. It's pretty good. And then when they only cost 20 spirit, it's like a whole extra 1 just from the level breakpoint. But like I say, it was, yeah, 37. So if we change to 36, I would have less. Wait, what? Oh my god, with the reductions, it's even weirder. It's different. It's actually different. I still have 18. It's not 36? Wait, is it 35? Wait a minute. All my low, I have too many. I'd have to be like the scepter then. Oh yeah, there we go. Wait, it changes the breakpoint. Okay, good to know. The break point. Okay, so it's not just 37. It depends on your reservation and everything. Holy. So there's no clear one answer to that. It depends. That's so weird. Okay, well, either way. The boot is sick. Highly recommend if you want giga damage. This is basically best in slot for boot damage. Yeah, giving up the move speed for it is pretty good. The one other thing I'll mention is giving up these. I now notice that so this flask you can activate while your thing is full, and then 10 seconds later it's going to hit you with a chaos hit, and so this chaos hit can actually stun you. You saw the purple effect. So that can stun you, and yeah, it's at the end of the duration, which, oh, is that the dealing the damage every 3 seconds? And then you have the eventual pop? Oh, so the purple effect isn't every time I take the damage, because sometimes it looked like I was like I clicked it too many times, because you could do that, and then it'll hit you many times because it's queued it up. But then it's also doing that effect too. Oh, this one only does that. Okay. See how it... Yeah, it's pretty weird. Yeah, it doesn't kill me though. It won't kill me. Which I think of old PoE 1 where you could just lift a flask and put it back on and it would refill. And now you have to well, which really actually having the well to fill all of them instead of having to individually pick each one up, which you didn't have to if you walk into the map and then it'll reset them on a new instance also, but in the same spot you could, where having a well doing all of them is actually better technically. It doesn't automatically fill that when you go back it, but you know. But yeah, the belt's super good, obviously, as you know, and then getting an even better one, I'd get even better bonuses, so I'd get even more regen and more reses and more mana, and this is just really expensive, and I want it, real obviously, like, why wouldn't I? And then, yeah, I really, like, if you want damage, I highly recommend the boot. Just getting more of them, going to 18 is sick, and like I say, if I personally get just 2 more spirit, which is like 50 life in the build, then, yeah, so now spirit, having spirit is worth more. Each spirit mod that I could get, like the spirit Ami, I still don't have it. I could get another like 40 spirit on the scepter. That's 2, so this is like another 2. Technically the chest could have spirit, technically, I'm just saying, like 50, right? That you also had the you could just get a rare chest with like 50 as a single mod or something, but yeah, so like you got like 6, dude, just with this, and then rings 12. I could be at 30. And that's not even counting the jewels, dude. You could, holy man, it's crazy. That's kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, I really wanted to make an update vid for the Bones of Ullr and get people to actually use this. The one obviously big downside, move speed, charms. These are the big 2 trade-offs. I traded the move speed. Imagine trading 35 move speed boot, a bit like obviously mana too. I lost 400 mana, but 35 move speed and the 400 mana for 40% more damage. It's like, yeah, that's pretty fucking good. God damn, that's a really nice boot. Holy shit. When we're doing this one for like 60 to 80% more, depending on at what point you use it, because the more levels, the diminishing returns technically, but like at the top end it's still like 16% per level, so like 60%. I mean, this is 40. Like, this is a crazy boot, and the downside giving up the move speed, and we can actually bypass it with the leap slam and the blink. Like, this is in the game, it's possible. Especially how you use the trench timber with the attack speed and scaling with the martial. The other one, having the no charms, technically these weren't the solution anyways. This cannot be stunned, so it doesn't actually make you immune to stun. So when you get stunned, you still get stunned. It's only after you've been stunned, then you cannot be stunned. So, like, it's the repetitive stunning, the stun lock, it stops that, but it doesn't stop the micro stuns and the, like, really, it just feels aids. You go pick up a piece of loot, or at least, let's say you try to pick up a piece of loot, and on your way to pick up the piece of loot you're pathing, you get CC'd just a tiny little micro stun. Literally irrelevant. You're fine, but you got stunned by a normal mob. This doesn't help that. You still got cancelled on picking up the piece of loot. It doesn't matter. It's still gonna feel AIDS even with it until you've already been stunned. So you'd have to be constantly being stunned and then this has to run out because you can't be stunned, so it can't chain. You'll have a moment of being able to be stunned. You're not stun immune basically. You're only stun immune for a tiny bit, and you're not even immune. You just cannot be stunned. It's kind of like this cannot be hindered. Like, there's actually a ground effect in ritual that makes you LE weakness 30% and also hindered, and this says cannot be hindered, but like you're on the ground that makes you hindered, so you're not immune to hinder, you just cannot be hindered, but you're being like you have hinder on you. It's not cannot be, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even work. Point is, so yeah, this doesn't fully work for what you would want anyways. You'd rather be like avoid stun 100%, and then yeah, unaffected by slows. This is pretty good, but like when we're AFK Simu, it's fine. Potentially you do feel really slow though, and you're like already for minus 4 move speed, and then you get slowed by like a 30% chill, and you don't have the charm anymore. It's bro, I can't move, man. You can't dodge volatiles. It's kind of funny, but you could kind of still roll, and you can still yeah, leap slam. Just don't name lock, and you actually know that you're name locked because an enemy will highlight. You could actually see a highlight on things when you are name locked, by the way. So like if you've ever seen somebody and they're leap slamming or shield charging and they get locked on a monster, the monster actually glowed red. It was like a red border around it, and you would know that it's name locked. Really annoying. You have to repress the button basically, or press another button to to break it. Like Blink was really good for breaking the name lock. That combo that I did with the leap slam blink tech. Shield charge blink tech too. It's really sick. But yeah, Bones of Ullr, highly recommend. I thought about doing a Simu while I was talking about it, but I just wanted to, you know, talk about the build. Now, the tree. So I mentioned how, yeah, we changed stuff because I don't need the defenses as much. I also cut the AoE, so I'll explain that. And I cut Scattershot, so I kind of have to explain this a little bit. I cut Scattershot because when you look at it, I started to realize something. So like it probably is a damage boost, technically. It is good, but the downsides, so it having less attack and cast speed, to be able to get your thing back to where it started without this, you would need 25 more attack and cast speed basically, because you'd be at 0.8 instead of 100%, or 1, and then to get a 0.8 back to a 1, it would be 25%. So like you would have to do the arcane tempo, and then when you run an arcane tempo in your setup, you're getting this cast speed and the cast time really good, right? And then you're like, man, I would run multiple arcane tempos if I could. And that's when I realized, oh my god, taking this out kind of is like you gain arcane tempo. Because instead of lowering their attack and cast speed, it's like they have 25% more base. And then same thing with the damage. Instead of 20%, it's kind of like 25% more. And so you could think of this as being 2 multipliers of 25%, which is kind of crazy. And then it's to get the 2 proj, where we're getting the 8 proj and we're getting the fork. And this is only less damage after forking, where this is affecting everything. And then, yeah, the pen, cast speed, and the feeding. So it's mostly actually about the speed, how I basically could get another arcane tempo out of it, and I just lose the extra projectiles, obviously, but then I gain damage, and I gain attack and cast speed, which feels really good, because it's responsiveness. It's how fast you could kill the enemies once they spawn to, like, yeah, freeze them. This would actually slow down your minion, like, being reliable. And they'd be sometimes maybe too slow to actually hit the enemy. Which then you think about projectile speed too, of like speeding up the projectile to hit the monster faster. It's still the projectile actually has to be shot first. Anyway, and then Feeding Frenzy. I didn't want to run this originally because the 20% more damage, but now that we have so many and our damage is so much higher, and we're destroying the monsters sometimes before they even do any damage, and they made a lot of the like on death effects or even just the like enemy abilities, the arch nemesis mods, disappear upon death, except for the volatile plants. That one stayed for some reason. I don't really know why. Maybe they want you to go CI because they do a lot of damage, like thousands and thousands and thousands of chaos damage. Anyways, they even melt the minions and they have a lot of HP, 16k, but yeah, we could make them take 20% more because the 30% more is really good damage, like how we have the 25 more cast speed. This is pretty much one of the best damage supports possible in just raw damage, and now that we don't need the defenses as much, we can actually do that, which half of it also was having the faster cast speed, so they actually just attack before the like it's like they have quick attack. They're attacking first. They have higher speed in Pokemon. We're going first, like if it was turn-based. Anyways, we also I cut the AoE, and it's because I made our build more of a projectile build, so it's the projectiles and then the forking. So you just hit the projectile on the big monsters. Since the monsters' hitboxes are so big because we can't move around, the body blocking is crazy, the pushing, the shoving, the big monsters, the big bosses, big hitboxes. So just trying to hit the projectiles, and then if you're hitting the projectiles, then you're hitting the AoE. And it's also that technically if you scale the AoE, you're not scaling the projectile, is what I realized. So like it's kind of wasted opportunity. So if I just took the points from AoE and put them into damage, then I'm scaling both. And then, like I say, I was able to take out the minion defenses, so I took out the left hand of darkness and the minion res, and then I just put it into damage. I finally took the Fizz as chaos, which is where like technically being Fizz is good and not being brutality, but then yeah, the bleed doesn't benefit from the chaos, but technically our Hound is hitting some chaos damage now. Our Hound is hitting... What the fuck? Why would it put it there? What is that? Wait, what? I don't think that's right. But yeah, I took this. Technically, he does chaos. And then I took the extra crit damage bonus. And so I spent these 4 points, basically these 5 points. Instead of taking a jewel socket, I found these to be more than one of my jewels. The jewel being, in this case, crit, minion damage. So I took those instead. Because it's 5 points for a jewel socket now. So it takes me all the way down there. Anyway, let's show you these ones. So I have the 4 mod, attack and cast speed, crit hit chance, minion accuracy rating, and the minion damage. So the accuracy rating's good for the Hound, but nothing else. It's attack Hound, so I don't have to run that accuracy support, and then he still has like 2900, which is pretty cool. And then yeah, damage, crit, damage, which yeah, crit is like some of the best supports I could get. The minion attack and cast speed's really great though for, like I said, hitting first, so that you just freeze the enemy or kill them before they've even done damage to you to help your survivability, help the minion survivability. It's been really nice. It hasn't been just about maximum damage, but yeah, just a bunch of crit damage, attack and cast speed, minion damage, minion accuracy rating if you can, because it's a prefix. It doesn't take away from the suffixes. And then I even had this one where it's a 5 mod, so you could corrupt with a 4 mod one into an extra crit mod or an extra attack and cast speed mod, so you can have the 3 suffixes. This is just like the craziest shit. Perfect mods with like perfectly rolled with the extra, and then you val into the perfect. Nah. Imagine, dude, it's crazy. But yeah, that's like the best shit. The accuracy rating's like low roll, but that's my point. You can't roll after. Really like the boot though. Like I say, makes when I get the spirit, or if I get the spirit, worth even more, and I'll gain even more. Like where I have 18, I could go up to the like 30 potentially, and that's why I took out Scattershot. Like, it's still good, but then, like I say, it was about hitting first, having the faster cast time, and how many per second to be able to, like, basically speed up the clear and hit that monster first so we take less damage. Yeah, it really did help our survivability and the minion survivability, to where I took out a lot of the defenses. I even took out a bunch of ours. I took out the recoup. I took out the regen down here. I changed a bunch of stuff. I do still have the calibration anointed, but I was able to take out a lot of the defenses, and we're actually chilling pretty hard. And if anything, I would just like to scale up the damage even more, and and then we'll AFK soon. I wonder what kind of damage we actually need if we already have 90k per, I mean at DPS 56k per with 18 of them, and I still need the Eye of Winter on the final wave, and I still can die on wave 15. Yeah, we'll see, dude. But I hope you guys have been enjoying the journey. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to my build update on the Ingenuity and the Bones of Ullr. Rip the charms. And yeah, I'll probably be doing more simulacrum, more farming. I need more loot. Should sell some of my stuff. I have all these. I've been finding a bunch of these. It's all the 2 mod megalomaniacs. Got the 3 mods. Got all these. Listed them. Start them at a mirror and just lower them as I go. But yeah, we'll see if stuff sells. That one guy got mad. Like, I just started the 3 mods at 2 mirrors, and he's like 20, and then he got angry. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, take this opportunity to thank my Patreon and YouTube membership financially support the channel. Thank you to Rico, David, Hannes, Cynic, Joe, Salad, Austin, Alex, Johan, and Hate. Thanks so much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.